since February. Jim Lebenthal on the phone now. Jim, you've recommended this stock so many times on our program. I've lost track of how many times. What's your reaction to this big sell-off today? And then I do want to get you to respond to what Jim Chanos said about WYNN.
And I will do both, Scott. I know we're short on time, so I'll try to keep this tight. I'm going to stay consistent on Cleveland-Cliffs. Today's sell-off is based on a couple of things. One, the concern that maybe we're at peak economic activity, and the other being the collapse in iron ore prices in China. The peak economic activity, I completely throw that out the window. I mean, there's so many things I could talk about, how high corporate profits are, which means that capital spending is going up, all the supply chain onshoring we're doing. Think about those plants being built in Arizona for semiconductors. That all demands steel. And then, by the way, auto production at some point is going to pick up. We have steel prices right now at almost $2,000 a ton for hot rolled steel. That compares to what Cleveland-Cliffs realized in the second quarter, $1,100 a ton. Those prices may come down, but there is still huge demand out there that's going to keep going with infrastructure. Iron ore prices, that's an input cost for Cleveland-Cliffs. You want iron ore prices to go down. Their margins are going up. You saw positive pre-announcements last week from Steel Dynamics, Nucor, and U.S. Steel. It's just a matter of days before Cleveland-Cliffs does the same thing. All of this free cash flow is first used to delever the balance sheet. Then it's going to get sent back to us shareholders. They already bought back 1.2 billion shares this year. That's going to continue. Last thing, Scott, because I know you got more you want to do. We've seen drawdowns like this already this year. You saw a 33% drawdown January to March of this year, 25% drawdown in April, 20% drawdown this summer. Each of those drawdowns led to higher highs. That's what I expect to happen here.
Okay, I'm glad you addressed that. WYNN. Jim Chanos just said it's worth $40. That's 50% lower of where it is now, and offered to send you his spreadsheet on why your metrics are wrong.
I'll accept his offer, and I'm grateful to him for it. It was a great discussion having him on. This is a classic case of let's compare our models. He thinks that there is still WYNN Macau value in the share prices right now. I would say effectively there is not. Where we have a difference, and I appreciate him throwing out a number. I really do. He's an analyst at heart, so am I. He says $600 million in EBITDA next year for U.S. operations. I beg to differ. We had almost $200 million in U.S. operations last quarter. That's going to be growing. I think you are going to see $800 million next year, possibly higher than that in EBITDA from U.S. operations, and it's going to continue to grow, particularly with the online betting. I don't think there's any value to WYNN Macau in the enterprise value right now. That's where he and I are going to differ, and it comes down to those EBITDA numbers for U.S. operations. I'd love to continue this conversation. I know we're short on time. You tell me how much further you want to go.
None. We're done. But I appreciate your willingness to call in and entertain both of those, but we'll certainly keep our eyes on both as you